Hello, and welcome to Pod of the Week, a place where I get to share my thoughts on pods I think you need to know about. My apologies, humble apologies for missing Pod of the Week last week. It was one part, I would say, one part poor planning. But secondly, it was just, we were waiting for this project to kick off, and it just kicked off immediately. So it was one of those projects that sprung on you. And I spent the best part of last week with an amazing group of people helping curate stories and poems from people from different parts, different communities from the parts of the Western Cape. So yes, it was quite an interesting journey, learning their stories and seeing their challenges and putting it into story form and poem form. And so hopefully that book will come out soon, but the process is still ongoing, and we've got some more work next week. This is today's part of the week, and this is the last part of the week in the generosity series. We'll look at another category next week or for the next few months. I want to invite you to listen to a very interesting podcast. It is called the Generosity Freakshow, and this is specifically for NGOs and NPOs and for organizations in that particular sector, or people in that sector that's wanting to drive change forward, that's looking for opportunities to make the world better and find ways to find money to do the work that you do. The Generosity Freak Show is a 360 podcast that looks at generosity and the freaks that are obsessed with it. What a crazy cool. So it looks at all forms of how to make money, the digital marketing space, conversion rate optimization. If you want to know, that's maybe big words, but how do we convert people looking at your website or looking at your services or looking at your organization and convert that into something. It is a dated podcast. In other words, it stopped production in 2021. So there is a few years in the making, or a few years since the last episode, but I still think that you'll find some value in the methods and in the conversations. And I think even if it sparks a new idea or an adaptation or a evolution of the ideas that is presented, then this is a really cool part. So if you want to know what it sounds like, have a listen.
It's just another freak show, here we go. I said, welcome to the freak show, here we go. It's just another freak show, here we go. Oh, welcome to the freak show, here we go. It's just another freak show, here we go. Oh, welcome to the freak show, here we go. It's just another freak show, here we go.
Hi, Ben. Thanks for coming on the show.
Well, hello, Brady.
You're a full service agency, not just digital.
We are.
And have been, had some really successful results. What are some of the things that you saw, either for your own clients or just within the Canadian market, as it relates to fundraising, in the past year, both online and offline?
Yeah, well, one thing that I love about us chatting is like both of us have been so passionate about online fundraising in the 2010s. And sometimes I'm starting to feel when people got wise to digital, there's so many things that get like, oh, 2020, like digital. and then they're bringing up even integrated marketing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have been a passionate supporter of online fundraiser. Like I did my first Facebook ads in 2008 and they've changed, but like Google ads have changed like a little bit. And I was just like, this has been around for so long. And like, we had one client who I was like, oh, you only raised 100,000 online. And I was like, oh, and they're like, well, we've grown so much in the last year or two. And I was like, oh, I just assumed you've been doing this for 10 years like I have.
Right.
And I was like, oh, it's just this, how many are late bloomers even?
Yeah.
Is one of the themes of like, and I see it with direct mail as well. It's like, you can start at any time. I think that's something that's come to mind for me is a lot of organizations I know that were raising hundreds of thousands or maybe just crossed the $1 million mark, embracing.
So if you're looking for a pod that is dynamic, that is fun, but also leaves you with insights, ideas, and concepts that will help drive your organization forward in finding new funders, creative ways in generating interest, wealth, and income, but also mobilizing people who are just excited about your message, then this is the podcast for you. So remember, pods are not for some, they're for everyone.